Home Show.
Hermes from Henderson, Nevada, has a sneaky leak question.
Yeah, it's the water pan, Tom, is overflowing for her water heater, but she says there's no leak. So it's hard to figure this one out. Hermes writes, I checked all around the water heater to see or feel if there's any leakage, but it's dry. The pilot light is still on and seems not to indicate any problems. There is rust, though, he says, in the bottom part of the water heater near the pilot controls, as you can see in the picture that he sent in here. And he marked the picture. You see the arrow on there, Tom. It's right behind the pipe. She wants to know, what is going on? What should I do?
Well, the bottom line, it's time for a new water heater. It just has to be replaced. That's not going to be fixed. The tank is cracked somewhere. And what happens is it could be a very little crack, and most of the tanks are glass. It's not the outside casing that you feel, because that outside metal casing is not holding water. All that's doing is literally being a case on the water heater and holding the insulation package against the glass tank, which is on the inside. And when a glass gets a crack, it's kind of like a crack in a glass that you have that you're drinking. And it really show a big leak, but there's always seems to be water until you really look at it and say, oh, we got a crack in the glass, because it's not a big open leak. And that's what's happening, is that crack is started to leak, and it's getting bigger as you speak. And eventually, believe it or not, you could just end up pumping water all over the house. I mean, it's just going to go. So right now, it's not something you should put off for a week. You shouldn't go around and try to gorilla glue anything. It's time for a new water heater. And if you can, I'd shut the water off to that one right now, or as soon as you can. If you're seeing this, getting this in any time soon, or hopefully if somebody else tells you to do that, please do.
All right. I imagine, because once one of those start leaking, it's only going to get worse.
2 reasons you replace a water heater. One is if it starts to leak, you can't fix them. You just get a new one. The second thing is if it quits giving you the hot water it used to give you, and there's no real remedy that's simple. It's just getting old and full of a lot of hard water deposits, and it's time for a new one. And that takes a long time, but eventually that 5-minute shower starts to be 4-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, and then you're going next door to take a shower.
All right. You got a question? Go ahead and visit HomeShowRadio.com and click on the Ask Tom button right there in the middle of the homepage, and fill out one of those forms and we'll take care of you. We post them every day at HomeShowRadio.com, at our Facebook page, and of course on our YouTube channel. When you're watching on YouTube, by the way, if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up, and if you don't, keep it to yourself.